In the year of 1991, the United States government, fearing the ever-encroaching horror that is anime, devised a plan to beat back the rising sun and prevent its populace from turning into weeaboo trash. Many plans were devised. The US government attempted to create a terrible English dub of the hit film Akira that was so bad it would turn every US citizen off of anime for good. However, this plan backfired as the dub became so bad it was good and helped give rise to a war that has killed about 10 whole people. The war of subs versus dubs.
What happened? Quite a mess, huh?
Well, it's over now. It isn't like you to miss the party.
This did not deter the US government, however. Instead of taking a hacksaw to something else, they devised a plan so devious that it changed the landscape of war forever. Taking a page out of shows such as A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, the government decided to rework something already meant for kids and turn it into something meant for brain-dead infants. They took one of the cornerstones of Japanese animation, that being Mobile Suit Gundam, and turned it into an abomination that can only be described as worse than the Holocaust. Instead of being a show with dark themes and compelling characters that commented upon the human misery of war, Doozy bots turned the black kid in the wheelchair into the gun tank. Now make no mistake, Doozy bots was an insidious weapon because though it was meant for children, it had several layers of artificial pseudoscientific subtle propaganda which reinforced American values through its characters. You have Max, the leader of the football squad. Look at that chiseled chin, that brown hair, those thick eyebrows, and his dull fucking expression as he plays a football game in the middle of the day. He is the embodiment of the realist art movement of the 1800s. His dull expression is a commentary upon the movement's dedication to objective, unemotional works that were unadorned with imaginative flourishes. His brown hair represents the fact that he is of the working class, the bread and butter of the great country that is the United States, as opposed to being some heroic messianic figure who will bring about total destruction via shots of Kool-Aid. By playing a football game in the middle of the day, as opposed to most teams who play at night because it's 6 p.m. in fall, Doozy Bots has illustrated that Max is a traditional man who works when the sun is out, without any breaks. There's also a cheerleader who is unimportant, for she is there to merely to lend aid to our hero Max, to lift him up when he's down like any good wife should. Then you have this young man, one without an intelligible name who I will from here on out call Reagan, for he is the very definition of trickle-down economics. Look at his thick, round body. Observe as he blocks the puck while eating a chocolate bar. This isn't just shallow characterization demonstrating that Reagan is a fat fuck. Nay! This is a demonstration of the Cold War, and how the US market was the wall that destroyed the Soviet Union. Reagan's tubby stomach is said wall, representing the market, and the chocolate bar is what has allowed it to grow to the size it is, representing the brave Americans that work every day and fuel the US economy. Now the devious brilliance of Doozy Bots doesn't end there, for once Reagan falls, when the wall crumbles as it so did in Berlin, marking the death spiral of the Soviet Union, more fatty food spills out of his jersey representing the joys of capitalism returning to the people. Past this point, we are introduced to two other heroes, Skateboard Blondie and a good lad. By defying gravity, these two show that they can overcome anything that gets in their way, especially their disabilities of being a woman and having non-functional legs. This team of 5 not only depicts and reinforces what makes the United States the greatest country in the world, but they also show what it really means to be an American teenager, unlike that traitorous pseudo-weeb trash Power Rangers, which should be ashamed of itself for its close ties to Japan. Where's McCarthy and Pinochet when you need them? If Doozy Bots was allowed to see the light of day, it would have raised an entire generation of patriots who would not succumb to the ways of anime. However, its clear anti-technology, anti-progress message was something that could harm this great nation. Professor Doozy asked our brave 5 to have their souls transferred into machines in order to combat weapons of war that he failed to properly secure. The mere idea of the United States losing grasp of such a powerful and dangerous technology is unbelievable, for such a thing has never happened during this great country's existence. The blatant irresponsibility of the scientists which allowed this plot to occur is something that is unacceptable for the youth of today to see. The mission of the evil Doozy bots was to build an army of other bots, which seems odd considering all of them escaped from a singular lab and they're never seen manufacturing more of their kind, in order to rid the world of fun. Yes, fun. F-U-N. The US military's most advanced weapon system, the full uranium nipple. I cannot go into any more details, but these traitorous Doozy bots wish to gain it for themselves. These evil beings led by why is a Zagok leading the others, especially a Jagdoga? Wait, why is the Jagdoga firing its funnels like missiles?
Missiles number 1. Alright, troops, charge!
Why are the Doms the grunt suit instead of the Zaku 2 like they're normally depicted? Wait, I mean, all of this traitorous weeb trash is a disgrace to this fine nation. Yes, that's what I meant to say indeed. Now, as you can see, by riding a giant chicken into battle, DoozyBots demonstrates the cowardly nature of the Japanese by illustrating something only a true coward would do, and that would be killing oneself for the greater good of the nation in a kamikaze-style dive bomb attack. Giving one's life is truly a new low for cowardice I thought I'd never see. However, with ease, our heroes obliterate their enemies just like any great nation would, and instead of capturing or killing their opponents, thus ending the series for good, our heroes let them go in order to make them reflect upon their failure as well as wallow in their own shame. Clearly, they are mental giants that rival the greats such as Alexander, Hannibal, Caesar, and Ted Bundy. This return to the status quo is the last, yet most genius tactic which DoozyBots employs, for not only will it force young children to return for more, but it also tells viewers to shut up and return to their daily lives. Nothing will change except your place. You will never overcome your disabilities and live a normal life where people love you, Jeremy, for you are nothing but a boy bound to a wheelchair. Even as a robot, you can't escape the fate which binds you to this mortal realm. You will always be bound to a wheelchair, Jeremy. They will never escape you. Now please ignore your ability to somehow fly like E.T. Now the real question has to be asked. Why was the greatest weapon ever conceived never deployed? One could say using such a weapon would be a war crime, but such a crime is a small price to pay in the war to eradicate weeb filth. No, it being a war crime is not the reason why it wasn't deployed. This weapon had many flaws, despite its destructive potential. However, its anti-technology and anti-progress message would have hampered its impact upon the American youth. Yes, it would have prevented them from succumbing to the seduction of anime, but it also would have regressed the nation back technologically, which the government couldn't allow. In the end, it was sent back for testing and refinement in order to prevent its negative effects. However, by the time it passed the first few stages of testing and was ready for limited deployment, the Japanese invaded. They gripped the American youth with shows such as Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing, which indoctrinated a whole generation into becoming weeaboo trash, and other such variants of degeneracy. Deploying DoozyBots at that point would have been a catastrophic failure because the American youth were now fully aware of anime, and therefore, all the designs we intended to mock would have piqued curiosity for the real thing. Once you watch Char's counterattack, there is no going back. When you understand the majesty that is the Jagdoga, you are truly defeated. The Japanese defeated us at our own game, and now they can sell their plastic model kits and video games to a whole generation, something we wish to do, if they ever get around to realizing they have an audience in the West. Getting real sick of low-tier garbage like New Gundam Breaker being released instead of a translation of Giren's Greed. Damn you, Japan. Damn you.